This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Thrillist.
We got James O'Keefe, and he's, of course, the guy who put together the NPR video, the Pimps and Prostitutes video that targeted Acorn. He's the one that got arrested for breaking into Mary Landrieu's office. I don't know why that guy's out of jail. Of course, they pled to a lesser charge, but it wasn't us, and there was a misunderstanding, except it was totally you, and there was no misunderstanding. You were trying to tap our phones. It's a federal crime, etc., etc. And now it looks like after all these little projects, he's broke. Now, that's not me guessing. That's him telling us. He has sent out a letter to supporters saying, please, 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 please give me money. Now, here's the first part of the letter. He says, up until now, my friends and I have financed all of our work on our own, running up major credit card debt. Oops. We made a lot of sacrifices personally and financially because we fight for what we believe in. Now, look, the reality is people on the left and right, whether they're running websites or whatever they're doing, have asked for donations all the time. NPR, ironically, asked for donations. So it's not like the craziest thing in the world. But it's just kind of funny that he's apparently $50,000 in debt and he just needs the money desperately. If you weren't convinced yet that he's desperate for the money, let's continue. He says, it costs us about $50,000 when all is said and done to produce an NPR video. If you help us raise over $50,000, it will go toward our next video. After we pay off our credit cards, of course. In other words, that first $50,000 going straight into his pocket. Now, does he really have $50,000 in credit card debt? Who knows? He's a serial liar. You know how he edits those videos together. You can't trust him at all. So, if you're contributing, maybe go... And how did he get the credit card debt? It might have been part of the operation of writing this. That's totally reasonable. It might have been that he went on a binge in Vegas. Who knows? You trust James O'Keefe? Well, a lot of conservatives do, in which case, well, they're going to be, parted from their money fairly soon from James O'Keefe. So, but I love the constant, we got to pay off the credit cards. Then he gets a little ambitious. I think he's halfway through the letter, and he's like, why don't I ask for more? So I bet somebody's egging him on. And so he writes, if you help us pass 100,000, and then we can do 2 new videos. And if by some chance we raise $1 million, we could expose 20 disturbing cases of government abuse and corruption. But all I'm worried about is the $50,000 right now. Dude, I got it, man. You're really worried about that $50,000. You're in a bad spot. I got you. I love the whole thing. If we got $1 million, well, then we can go on 20 trips to Vegas. I mean, do 20 new videos. Look, I'm sure he would do new videos with some of the things. I don't know why I trust him at all. But, if you're a conservative and you give to James O'Keefe, is he going to spend it on all the right places? I would be shocked. But at the same time, you're probably going to get some of what you paid for. I mean, the guy does hatchet jobs on liberals. He does. And if you pay for that, okay, well, that makes sense if you're on that side. If you're paying for journalism, well, that's a whole other thing. I mean, that ain't going to happen, right? But if you're a conservative and you like his hit jobs, well, honestly, I'm surprised he's in this much debt. I'm surprised the Koch brothers haven't made all this disappear in a second. Maybe they're worried that it'll get back to them and they'll get associated with it. Although I don't know why they would be. I'm surprised this guy hasn't gotten massive funding yet. So, but that's only because it's day one of the letter. Let's see how it goes.
And now we have a new sponsor, Thrillist. They're very cool because they hook you up with really interesting things going on in your town or any town you might be in that you don't know about.
Right. They also let you know where the best restaurants, bars, venues are.
Thrillist.com/TYT.